दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Express Varanasi Station, Netaji Bhavan.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. With me, Adam Gilchrist and Shaun Pollock. The news from the Kotla in Delhi is that the Night Riders have actually stopped Delhi. Now, the total definitely seemed within Delhi's reach, but it was the Night Riders who just kept getting wickets and kept plugging away and didn't let Delhi run away with that, and have finally finished on the good side of things, winning by 14 runs and getting 2 much-needed points that keep them alive in this tournament. You've got to say, good effort by the Kolkata bowlers today.
Absolutely. From the halfway point of that run chase, it just looked like Delhi had the upper hand. And with Faf there, Akshar Patel was there at the moment. They just formed a nice partnership.
Yeah.
So they were on track. But as is the case in cricket, the hardest thing is to hit the winning runs.
Yeah.
No matter what position, we've seen a number of teams, haven't we, stumble in what looked like winnable positions when chasing. But it came down to there's 6 wickets to 12 overs of spin. So the spinners, one of the questions of the night was which team has the more potent spin attack.
Yeah.
Proved tonight that KKR still rely heavily on pace off the ball, a little bit of turn, a little bit of shape on it, a little bit of movement off the wicket, and gets the job done.
Spin for the win. You'll be happy. Yesterday you were saying you wanted the spinners, the Kolkata spinners, to check in.
Well, we've just seen so many times over the years with those two in particular and some others that have obviously passed on from their side, how they can dictate terms. And it's mainly been on their surfaces.
Yeah.
But when they've gone away, they've also had that confidence and ability to be able to pull games back into their grasp and control. So impressive. See, also starting off, it was a bit of a surprise, actually. I wouldn't have picked that he would have bowled wouldn't have bowled the first few overs. So I think that was a good tactic. They did look good, Delhi, though, I suppose, while that partnership was on. But once again, not enough batting contributions. There's kind of been 3 or 4 people who've made contributions throughout the seasons, and it hasn't been enough.
Yeah, when you get a 200 plus score, you always just need one guy who's got to get you that 80 kind of who everyone can anchor about. And it seemed like today Faf was going to do that job. In fact, when Faf and Akshar were batting, that was a really good partnership. I think they'll be disappointed that, obviously the top order, leaving aside Faf, with Karun, KL Rahul, Abhishek Porel, all 3 not getting runs today, and Tristan Stubbs. So when you have 4 of your batters, and such good batters like that, not getting runs, getting single-digit runs, a 200 chase is going to be tough.
Going to be tough, very tough. And particularly if you're losing wickets along the way and you're starting to get into the bottom 4, it's too much to ask your bowling group to come in and go at 11, 12 and over against quality bowling. It's got to be that engine room up the top, in the top 6, someone's got to go on and get you into that final finishing position. You might be able to scratch some out from the tail if they're in that more dominant position, but it's got to come from the top. It was interesting. Sunil Narine, he changed that game around there in that his last 2 overs. I think his first 2 overs went at about 11s.
Correct.
Maybe.
Yes, they did.
But it was always going to be about taking wickets. The old adage that the best way to slow a run rate is to get someone out.
So he's come back in the 14th over. Sorry, just to add to that, he's come back the 14th over. He's bowled for 8 runs and got 2 wickets.
2, yeah.
And then he's bowled the 16th over for 2 runs and 1 wicket. When you bowl a 16th over in a run chase for 2 runs...
That wicket was Faf, wasn't it?
Yes, that wicket was Faf.
Yeah, no, you got Akshar Patel and Tristan Stubbs in the same over.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got Faf later on. So there's your match
game,
turner, isn't it?
That's your game between the two. Because at Delhi, in the 14th, when he did this double strike, when they got to the 14th, it was 136 for 3. Now, 136 for 3 while chasing 205, right? You're totally backing the batting team at that point. So it's that 14th over is, even though it's gone for 8 runs, getting those 2 wickets, that's where the game has turned. And his 16th over is where he's sealed it.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking they were going to do exactly what RCB did, where these guys had lost 3 wickets, what were they, 3 for 60, and then that partnership got on and got them basically over the line. It looked like they were set. And I think DC will be disappointed, won't they? I mean, they kind of had a situation where you got 2 senior guys at the crease, but then you come up against a match winner like Narine, and he shows why he's so valuable, because he can strike. And also when they end up 13 or 14 short, you just think to yourself, oh, if we just hung in there, if someone hadn't got out. I mean, there wasn't like it was a spectacular finish with regards to the amount of runs that they got in the last 3 or 4 overs. And they still got within 13.
Can I add one more thing, sir? Just those 11 wides that Delhi bowled, right? And the 3 no balls. I think it was what, 4, is that, I've got the number correct? 11 wides and 3 no balls. And a couple of missed fields here and there. In a game of small margins, you can't let those things do bite you. Yeah. As a bowling unit, I'm sure they will.
It is. I mean, it's a funny thing that it still happens. I mean, after all these years, as an ex-bowler, you know what it is. It's net practice and practice before the match, where you go over the lines and don't really care where your foot's landing. You're just kind of warming up. If you get that behind, I mean, when they brought in that free hit, that kind of cured me. I was one of those guys who lived on the edge the whole time and very close to no balls. But as soon as there was a free hit, I was like, okay, well, there's no ways I'm going to do this anymore. So I'm going to practice behind the line at practice. And when I warm up, I'm going to be half and half. And I bowled very few after that. So when it's been going for 18 years, you would have think that teams would have analysed that the small margins are caused by those kind of things. And they're controllable, aren't they? I mean, you don't have to be that tight. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. But when you look at the bowling figures, I think that's what we were talking about, the 2 spinners and what you wanted from them. And today, because we were talking about this surface helping pace-off bowlers, look at what the spinners have done.
The 3 spinners?
Yeah, 3 spinners. So they bowled 12 overs. What have they got? 60, 87, so 85. 12 overs for 85 and 6 wickets.
Yep.
That's really good returns for the spinners.
On a track that wasn't a turner.
Yeah.
But I thought Sunil Narine was clever, that 14th over it was that you said. I'm pretty sure from memory, the first ball, Axar Patel punched him really well through the offside.
6.
For 4?
6.
For a 6, was it?
First ball was a 6.
Okay. And then
he got out next ball.
He got out next ball, he came round the wicket and just cramped him up, and he tried to create something. He just went really straight. Again, I like the way Narine has been doing it for years and years, attack the stumps. And it only takes even the smallest margin of movement, and he did that to Tristan Stubbs as soon as he came in. So, yeah, it was a game plan that they've relied on for so long, not always away from home as effectively as at home, but on the road tonight it worked beautifully.
And that's why Sunil Narine is our coolest player of the match, powered by Voltas, Shorkam Kamzada. And there you go, we told you about his bowling. There's also a little bit of captaincy in there, Polly, towards the end. Everybody left the field, Ajinkya Rahane, Venkatesh Iyer, and certainly Sunil Narayan's the captain.
27 runs as well.
And scored 27 quick runs right at the top.
And a run out.
And a run out, correct. A very good run out of KL Rahul. Geez, he was all
cool.
over this game today.
He was cool tonight.
In 42 degrees in Delhi. I think he was the cool whiff of air that the Knight Riders wanted. But again, you see from someone like him, he looks cool anyway when he's walking around. It doesn't look like anything flusters him. But just to come up and do this for over a dozen years for that team, sometimes with bat, sometimes with ball, sometimes in the field. Well, the field, it's very sometimes.
Not quite as often.
It was more of a rarity, that one. The run out.
But with the bat and ball, and as we're saying that to get the wickets of the 3 wickets he's taken of Akshar, Stubbs and Faf, that's the game right there.
Well, he's shown, I mean, also the fact that he had to, at one stage, go through the adversity of changing his action. Now, people think, oh, well, that's easy. You just change action. It's not that easy.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice
so
now,
he's had to bounce back a couple of times. Well, I think it was on page about 77 of our 100-page document that we read before coming on air. It was showing the matchups of these two against the Delhi batters. And they've dominated them, haven't they? I mean, over the last few years, they really have dominated. So it was another case in point where we always hear about the matchups and how they want to try and tee it all up. Well, you can understand why, because in those middle overs, they definitely control terms. And it's nice to have that from a captaincy perspective, when you've got someone you can feel, hey, hold on, at some stage we can go to them and they might just be able to pull us back into this game.
In retrospect, when we look at that batting effort, now we know that for Calcutta, the batting effort in the last 5 overs, it kind of went a little pear-shaped. Now when you see that, what Narine and Cricbuzz did in the power play, you suddenly realize the value of that even more. And you're like, all right, this cameo is good. Man, if you can go get me 30 at a 200 strike rate, I'm good.
Yeah. I guess the way the game's evolved, we talk about when you need someone in the top to get an 80, but there's of equal value those little increments, if it's at 200. It only needs to be a strike rate 200. It only needs to be 8 balls at 200, and you have had a nice inflection on that little chunk of the game. So well, 76 they were power play. Was
79.
It? 79. Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's a good power play.
I mean, they're great contributions if it's backed up. If it's backed up and the rest of the team helps you get over 200, that's perfect plan.
Yeah.
I mean, we even saw GT when they won that year, Ridham Sahar.
Correct.
He would come in those first 6, and even Parthiv Patel, they would come and you knew that they weren't going to go long term. They weren't going to get that big score, but they would get you a little 30 or 15 or whatever it may be.
Something about these tiny wicket keepers. As opening batters. They've got another wicket keeper
role they
opening
can
batter
play.
here, not so tiny.
He's a bit taller, yeah.
Just a bit.
Wasn't meant to be one.
just a bit taller.
The only
but-
reason why he was successful was because he was tall and it was Perth. So you have to be a big keeper to be a Perth keeper.
There you go.
Otherwise, it just goes.
Because poor Parthiv, it would go over his head. If Parthiv Patel was Parthiv Patel, it would be going over his head. Jeez, that's a terrible joke. But Sunil Narine, just year after year, he just ends up doing it. And I'm just even thinking, I don't know, maybe going out on a limb here, but because he was captaining in the end, do you think that's why he went to Russell in the last over? I don't know if I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, well,
He's been the guy who's practiced it, though. I mean, every time he's come on in this tournament...
Because he barely bowls a second over.
Yeah.
Just him getting a second over.
But that's why they've given him
my
the
Caribbean
role.
buddy.
They give him the role. Listen, when you come into bowl Yorkers. That's what... Yorkers with the odd bouncer thrown in, maybe a slow ball. He's very practiced at doing that, so I was not surprised at all that he went to.
he doesn't seem to go wide Yorker. He just goes straight in the hole, doesn't he? Right at the stumps.
He gets a bit of a tail, too. It's just that natural angle into the right-hander.
Yeah, I think that's what... I think Narine just sort of experience. The guy, a guy that he's been in around playing with long enough and knows he can be reliable enough to hit the right spot.
Yeah, they had plenty to defend in the last over anyway. But that was it. That was Sunil Narine. He was cool with the bat, cool with the ball, cool with the run-out, cool with the captaincy. Yeah, that's right. He's brought the temperature down in Delhi by at least 10 degrees today. Our coolest performer of the match, powered by Voltas, Kamzada. Well, as Calcutta fans, you got to love what the spinners are doing because it just relies so much on them. But for Delhi, they're going to look at this and say, we were really backing our batting in the first few games. And to not do it now, a few games in a row, I think that they maybe have a few question marks now.
Yeah, I mean, they've stuttered, haven't they, after a really smooth start. 4 on the hop to open up the tournament, and looked like everything was, really a happy unit. But it just takes a couple of losses, and everyone starts looking sideways a little bit, and everyone's under a little bit more scrutiny. So
they've shown us what they can do.
Yeah, I was going to say Vipraj at the end there showed some. That's a positive.
Or as I like to call him, Whippage Nigam. There's a lot of whippage going on.
A lot of whippage.
That was some solid batting.
There, isn't there?
But so they've all shown us what they can do at little times, right? There's been a little 30 here or a cameo here, whatever it be. But if we look at the teams that have done well and are sitting top of the pops, you kind of excise Dash, and he's kind of done it in every game. Shubman Gill's been very consistent. I think Surya Kumar hasn't got less than 20 the whole way through the campaign. So there's always someone who's doing it regularly. KL Rahul has been their man.
Yeah.
They'll be happy that Faf's at the back of the top of the order and he's showing okay, for the rest of the tournament he might be able to make a big contribution. But I just think the other 3, even Stubbs missed out tonight, the other 3 have to keep being a bit more consistent than they've been. They've got to string 3 or 4 guys in each match if they're going to be.
We, in fact, I got a tweet when Faf hit his 50. Said that you guys were talking about Faf being the oldest centurion, breaking Adam Gilchrist's record, and he said it may happen today, but it was not to be because he got out at 62. But at least Delhi will be happy that he wasn't, because in the previous game he just looked a little scattered on the crease, right? Yeah. But today he definitely looked better today, and it will only build on this.
Yeah, that's definitely a positive. He can sometimes look like he's just muscling the ball, and I think I made the comment, often it looks like he doesn't really middle it, but he finds a way to get it to the boundary. But I thought he started to get, the longer the innings went on, the more fluency he had about his stroke play. Again, so experienced, been in so many different scenarios, and he's a winner. He's played in a lot of winning teams. His time at CSK was successful periods, and so he's going to have to do that and more for Delhi to safely get through to this finals period that's quickly approaching.
Where's the points table? Come on, let's have a look.
There it is.
There it is.
They've retained their positions. They haven't gone anywhere as yet. But as you see now, I think the important thing there is also the games played.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, man, that one split point because of the rain the other day is really, really going to bite these teams. But anyway, you see Delhi has now played 10 games. They have 12 points. Gujarat has a chance to go to 14 with their 10 points, of course, because they've got a game in hand. But now Mumbai actually is exactly the same as Delhi. And Delhi looked like, there was a time I think when Delhi was 1 and Mumbai was 9, right? There was a time, it was about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then Delhi, in effect, have helped Mumbai do this turnaround by that game at the Kotla with the 3 run-outs in the end. That was kind of Mumbai's turning the truck and going in the other direction. So,
if we can just pull that table back, I'm loving your work there. So the key now is to look, now it's not in Delhi's hands. They were in their hands for the whole tournament really up until this date. Yeah. Now if Punjab win, they go to 13 off the same amount of games, and if Gujarat win, they go well ahead. So they have a bit of a separation. But the other good news is there was basically 6 teams. We thought, okay, it's going to be 4 from 6. Kolkata have just said, hey, don't forget about us just yet.
Yep.
We've got to 9, another 1 or 2.
They can get to 17 if they win the next 4. Winning 4, possibility.
And maybe, you never know, maybe 15. Maybe 15 can get it through. Maybe 3 teams with 16 and others stay on 14. You never know. With the different scenarios, that could be.
Could be. That split point, I'm telling you, that split point, when rain happens, it just takes net run rate out of the equation a lot of times. So that becomes interesting. So suddenly you're saying now 7
I reckon there's
teams?
now 7 teams that realistically could have a hope. We can hear the cheer from behind the screens here and the production staff.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Happy unit, wasn't it, tonight?
Big KKR fans, big RCB fans. We'll look at that points table again. I'll ask you, and I know this changes very often, so we'll look at it. At this point in time, which are the 4 that instinctively, we're just feeling an instinct? Feelings.com, not scenarios.com, just feelings.com. What are your feelings saying?
I'm feeling the top 3 and Punjab.
Ooh, interesting.
That's the way I...
Interesting.
Yeah.
For you, Polly?
Bengaluru, I agree. I like those top 3 and Punjab. I kind of feel like they got more going for them. Bengaluru, they went to the top the other day and they've just been cheering on. Was GT lost?
Yep.
And now Delhi lose.
Yeah.
So they get to stay at the top of the tree for just that little bit longer.
Yeah. I mean, you're saying a little bit longer. They could stay top of the tree for the next 3 weeks and Bob's your uncle, as they say. They'd be pretty happy. They'd want to finish 1 and 2. And I'll tell you why teams want to finish 1 and 2, right? Because there is only one time that a winner has not come from 1 and 2. And that's been SRH in 2016, right? 16 or 17? 16.
Were they 3 or 4?
They were 3 or 4, I think. They were one of them. So they played the eliminator, basically. Otherwise, the winner always comes from 1 and 2.
Really?
And
In 2009.
No, they didn't have the system.
No. The playoff system.
Right.
And the playoff system.
That was 1v4,
just
2v4.
Yeah, let me just tell you, the playoff system has come into play because of a gentleman who's in the studio today. And the game that he's talking about was 1v4. That was the Deccan Chargers playing Delhi Daredevils at the time, who were top of the table. They pretty much won everything. I think they won 10 games or 11 games, 11 out of 14, and had qualified. They were 1 on the table. Deccan Chargers were 4 on the table. And this man ends up hitting, let me guess, 84 of 38? 84 of 37? What was it?
Slow going by today's standards. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
83 of
You've been too harsh
38.
on yourself.
It was something like that. It was low 80s in high 30s, if I remember correct.
So he's got the only 100 at that age, and he restructured the whole points.
He restructured the entire last week of the tournament single-handedly.
Well, it had such a big impact.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Call me the commissioner. It didn't make sense, did it, that you could dominate the tournament up and then play 4th place, have one bad night.
We didn't know about the system, but when the RPL introduced it, it made sense, didn't it?
Yeah.
100% makes sense. That if you've been top of the table for 2 months, and you have one bad night,
That's got to earn you something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, not one bad game, one bad guy. This kills you. There's one bad guy.
Because also, there's no advantage of home semis or anything along those lines, because those have to be pre-organised because of the facilities.
They're anyway with defending champion and with losing finalist.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's no advantage there. You can't get a home ground advantage of a semi or anything like that. So it 100% makes sense that you get a second bite of the cherry.
And that was the one in South Africa anyway.
Yeah.
That was 2009 was in South Africa. And we remember this because everybody was thinking that Delhi will storm the finals and Delhi will win because they won 11 out of 14. It was a brilliant season. That was the season when they had everyone. They had a Hall of Fame 11, didn't they? A.B. de Villiers, Virender Sehwag.
Yeah.
Was it proper Dilshan, I think, was there?
Tilakratne Dilshan.
Pidge was there.
DK, was he there? Dirk Nannis was bowling pretty quick at that point.
I think even Gautam Gambhir was in the team at that time.
He was.
So they had a proper team on 11 for 14, and then they run into this guy in the semi-final.
Lucky one day, yeah.
With a team that you
David
just
Warner
sneaked
was
in.
there too, wasn't David Warner was not playing. I think Mohammed Asif might have been there.
That's right.
Yeah.
In Delhi.
David Warner.
Yeah, that time.
No, they were proper.
Wow. He's just a part of history, this guy here, man. It's a part of history. Love it. Absolutely love it.
It wasn't a squash ball. He was rearranging the whole RPL system.
That's right.
Came back down to earth in the next innings in the final.
Yeah.
Big duck egg. Second ball, tried to charge and Il Kumble and his stumps ripped out.
Yeah, but the final ended all right for you.
Yes, it did.
Ended all right. So it was okay. It wasn't too bad.
Absolutely.
You remember that day as well?
Take a duck and a win, wouldn't you?
So that was RCB. You broke their hearts and they've never recovered since.
That's
They had
right.
a more
This
of an
year,
impact.
though.
Yeah.
This year, come on.
Good chance.
RCB, what do you think? Okay, let me put you guys even further out on a limb. Who's qualifying 1 and 2 at this time? Come on. Go out on a limb here.
Who we've got there? Bengaluru, RCB and Mumbai are in 1 and 2, aren't they?
At this point.
I mean, I can't see Mumbai faltering. I think they're going to win at least 3 or so of their next games. I actually think Mumbai is going to go top.
I just want to add one thing for you. 1 second. Just one thing, just before you give me your answer. If you look at that points table again, the remaining 4 games for RCB are Chennai, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Kolkata. So numbers 6, 7, 9, and 10 are the next 4 games. Now,
Yeah.
don't tell me 1 and 2, just tell me the top 2 teams.
I said
two
those
that are
two
there now.
top,
The 2 that are there now, Bangalore and Mumbai?
Because Mumbai, I think, are at this moment are the most dangerous, the most informed, the most players in the 11 that are in form. They are looking like
That choir is singing a
properly.
mean tune.
Yeah.
And then if you add that, I mean, I was thinking RCB to come maybe second. And if we look at the fixtures and you're right with those 4, I can't see them not winning maybe 2 at least or maybe 3 of their last 4. So I think those 2 teams.
I think the way Virat's controlling innings and run chases and coupled with the skill of Hazelwood at the moment, that's sublime. So, I think that, and there's plenty of talent around them. But, I'm saying the 2 that are there will be 1 and 2.
All right, so which means that one of those two is going to be winning the... Okay, I'm not jinxing it. I'll stop there. I won't complete this. I promise you. Don't come at me. I'm not finishing that sentence.
Ooh,
I'm not.
We're nervous outside now.
Yeah, everybody is. I think... Am I being abused in the comments already? Come on, guys. I'm just kidding. Remember one thing. The first day, the curtain raiser, right here on Cricbuzz Live, I was the guy who said 18-18. I was like, this is going to be their year. Now, this is going to be their year. I'm not saying, you never know. On the day, on the final, it's one game. 3-4 overs can change the game here and there. But I feel they will play the final, and that's the best I can do. The rest is in your hands. All right, let's have a look at the game that's happening tomorrow, because it's Chennai. Chennai is playing tomorrow against Punjab. And Punjab, of course, is also coming off that rained-off game the other day. A rained-off game at the Eden Gardens a few days ago, where, honestly, Gilly, if they look back at that, they'll look back at that batting effort with a little bit of disappointment, especially the latter part of it.
But they still got to 200.
They got to 200.
Yeah.
But at a time where, I mean, that was a very good last five for the bowling team.
Yep.
It looked like they were on course for 220, 225 at that point. So they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. So as a batting unit, they will talk about it and say, we're a better batting unit than that. We can't let an over is fine, 2 overs is fine. You can't let an entire spell of play go against you.
Yeah, particularly what would make it frustrating is the starts at the top that they've been getting from their opening pair have been generally fantastic and allowing that launch pad to really go and you know, that's where you need to match it up at the back end. You know, have the bookends of the innings, and that's where you can get those substantial totals. So, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with their team selection.
The burning question, I'll just ask it, because everybody's asking it.
But I don't think they'll be
Maxwell.
I don't think they'll be that upset. I mean, if you look at the batting, as Gilly says, a great partnership up front. They were kind of set for maybe 225, 230. It didn't actually matter because the game was rained out. But they did jiggle with the batting order.
Yeah.
Which they haven't really been doing. And it may be a lesson learned for them as well, because you know, they brought Maxwell back into the game, then they sent him up. They brought Jansen up the order to go and have a smack. And like they left Josh Inglis. I mean, I think he's played nasty. Why they got everyone to leapfrog him? I mean, he can score at a rapid rate when he gets going. So
yeah, as can Nehal Vadera.
It was just something that they decided to do. And I think maybe they would have learned that, hey, we don't actually have to fiddle too much with the guys who haven't had much hitting time at all. Let's just back our top 4 or 5 and try and play it from there. But I think they'll be very excited about the way. There'll be a good buzz about that squad, the way those guys, the young guys, are playing at the top of the order.
Any changes you would make there? I mean, they got Omar Zai in place of Marcus Stoinis.
I think they brought Maxwell in because they thought there was going to be a bit of grip.
Yeah.
And if you go to Chennai, you're probably going to have the same thought process, is that maybe he wanted to do a job as a spinner. But otherwise, I liked Omar Zai. I mean, we didn't get to see him bowl, and he didn't actually do anything in the game. Maybe he fielded for 6 balls.
Yeah.
So we can't exactly kick him out, can you? But yeah, I think they're a good unit, and it'll just be whether they want the extra spinning option or whether they go for something else.
I think they'll hold on to Maxwell.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ricky will be instilling all this belief, particularly that you know, the younger players around. But I think he would have spent time with Glenn Maxwell and reinforcing his, you know, how much of a winnable player he is, a winning player, an impactful player.
Yeah.
And he'll be saying, don't worry about what's come before. It's all about the next ball.
Okay. Don't worry about what all has come before.
Yeah.
It's just about the next ball. Naughty. All right, Chennai. We're talking about naughty. This team's been naughty, yes, and they've been naughty at home for sure. That, you know, here's the thing. A lot of people had them as contenders because they were playing, I think, first 5 out of the first 6 games at home. And everybody thought that at Chennai, at home, oh, there's no way they can lose. And now it just happens that there's no way they can win, home or away, anyway. So are you saying now the only option, because we saw the youngsters do well last time. Is that it then? If you're saying you're looking at your team for next year, you've got to throw all the youngsters into the deep end.
They were saying that before the last game, and they still had a chance if they won all their games. Now that they've lost that one and there's absolutely no chance, what are they going to show their true colours of? Are they really thinking about next year already?
Yeah.
Or
was it just press con talk?
Yeah, or are they still wanting to have the team vibe of putting a couple of wins under the belt before the tournament ends. So we'll have to wait and see.
But I don't think those are. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I don't think that's an either or, because the fact is that their regular formula is not working. So maybe their chance of winning is to throw some of this young blood in.
Yeah, I don't think the thinking is right with regards to Sam Curran and Ravinder Jadeja going as high up as they are without some of the more solid batters being given an opportunity. I mean, Sam Curran came in at 3, and I think
Jadeja at 4.
4, yeah.
In the last few games.
So, yeah, I mean, they are guys who can strike it, but I think they need to be settled a little bit lower and get some other guys. I'm trying to think who at the order, because I don't think they'll go back to Rachin Ravindra at 3. Tripathi's still injured.
Tripathi was not there in the last game, so we don't know. But even when he's played, he's just looked a shadow of his former dominating self in Hyderabad.
But all of them, if Huda hasn't looked great, Dubey's hadn't looked great. So, yeah.
You're still playing Pathirana in the next game? You want to give Nathan Ellis a go? Maybe Jamie Overton can come back in, because he was in for a game or two and then now he's out, so...
I don't think it's been really the problem with the bowling, has it?
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, they've...
runs.
Yeah, bowling's not had anything to defend anyway. So they haven't had much from the batters. So it's about the batting, basically.
But we will definitely see what their plans are from the selection tomorrow when we get here.
We'll know if they're walking the talk.
Well, I had to give my opinion on who you retain and who you get rid of for them. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out online for that one, guys.
Oh, is that a clip that's coming on Cricbuzz?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you said things that will force us to stop being friends with you and acknowledging you in public?
You'll have to watch the clip
Oh,
on
no.
Cricbuzz.
I am nervous now. I'm nervous. Look, I'm not as nervous as Polly is.
Put it this way.
Well,
Polly's become redder than...
I've done a clip on Patarana, so I also might be in trouble.
All I'll say is I've got my passport ready.
Should I start the car?
Pardon?
Should I start the car?
Start the
In
car.
the words of David Lloyd, stop the car. All right.
Start the plane.
Okay, players to watch out for. One from each team. Let's go with Chennai.
You go.
Chennai.
For Chennai?
Yeah.
Sam Curran. I think his skills will come to the fore tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm thinking Jadeja. I want to see his mojo come back. I mean, we all know how good he can be. He's been a little bit down on himself and hasn't quite performed the way he was. So I want to see him do his best.
Okay, I'm going to go with Noor. Noor Ahmed. I like Noor.
He was off colour in the last game, wasn't he?
He'll be colouring it yellow tomorrow. He will. All right, and then with the Zipunjab.
I'm going for both the opening pair again.
Both of them?
Both of them.
The double.
It says player.
Yeah, players.
Singular.
No, I'm thinking singular because I'm thinking partnership.
Okay.
Partnership at the top of the order. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing if they can do it again.
Okay. So, Prabhansh.
Yes.
Prabhansh, like Travis Sheikh and Prabhansh for you.
Going with an Australian wicketkeeper.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Oh, look at you. Wonder where you got that idea from.
Yeah. I think he, like you say, he's skillful. He can accumulate well enough, but has all the tricks in the backpack to be able to play all the reverses and everything. So
yeah, how do you make your peace with the fact that an Australian wicketkeeper is called English?
He was.
That's what we call him in India.
He's from England as well.
Yeah, we call him Joss English.
Josh English.
Joss English.
Is that the first that you've done on a reverse? Someone who's been born in England and played for Australia? There haven't been too many. I mean, you've done it a couple the other way.
Yeah.
Martin McCabe and
No, as opposed to
Alan Mullally.
Bricknell. Who was the other brother? The one that Patterson brother. One played for.
I mean, everybody who's played for Australia was eventually like family who came from England anyway.
Yeah. But I'm saying
back in the day.
But this is later on in the piece.
Doesn't that have something to do with that joy factor question as well?
Yes.
Just a little bit of little bit of born London, talking Tokyo. Bit of that.
Alan Mullally was one of the names.
A bit of that. What specifically connects Imran Tahir, Grant Elliott, Alan Mullally? There's an extra L there, by the way. I just want to point that out. Don't like typos. And Colin de Grandhomme. Dutchy as... Do you know who's his best pal in the Indian team? I just want to ask you this question. his best pal in the Indian team, who's also currently playing the IPL. No longer in the Indian team, just out.
The Grandhomes.
Yeah, De Grandhomes. Think the opposite of big.
Oh,
Chahal.
Yeah.
Chahal loves all the Australians.
He loves everybody, basically.
yeah.
mates with everyone.
He and Simo were great
He
buddies.
and Roy were very,
He is-
apples he used to call him.
Sorry?
Called him apples.
Apples, that's right.
There's
He's
a
called
little
him
apple
apples.
there and a little mice
Yes,
there.
apples. And I remember there was one evening we were in New Zealand and Dutchie was out with us and Chahal just kept telling him that, because he'd retired, I think, from T20, something or other. He just kept saying, come back tomorrow. You're my one wicket. Come back tomorrow. You're my one wicket. I was like, Husey, he's 3 times your size. This joke, the 16th time, if it irritates him, he just pound you on the table like this, and me. So just take it easy. All right, all of them. Sorry, the answer to that, I answered some other question for you. But the answer to that is, they all were, well, it's one of those born here, playing there, but first playing here and then playing there, right? Show it. Just show it. What are you waiting for? Played the Under-19 World Cup for one country and the Senior World Cup for another country. So now can you name both countries? Obviously. Colin de Grandhomme would be
Zimbabwe
Zimbabwe
and
New Zealand. Malali would be
Australia, then England.
Australia, then England.
Well, yeah.
And Grant Elliott,
South Africa, then New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Pakistan, and then South Africa.
There you go, Grant Elliott. There you go. We've broken it down for you. I mean, Joy could have written that, but he didn't. But we know it. There's also another person who knew it, and that person was and is Jaideep Reddy. So congratulations to you, Jaideep Reddy 13. You have answered today's Joy Factor correctly.
So what the actual answer was, they played for Under-19 World Cup and then played for another country in a World Cup.
Yeah, so Under-19
Under-19
World Cup.
World Cup.
And the Senior World Cup.
Oh, Senior World Cup.
Country.
And Senior World Cup was for another country. So I guess they all played Under-19 for the country they were born in.
Yes. Yeah,
Before.
that's the word. Yeah, would think.
Then migrating to another one.
Yep.
Because I'm just thinking there's plenty of South Africans who played Under-19 World Cups who are now playing for other countries, but obviously haven't played in
An actual World
World
Cup.
Cup, yeah.
It's a great feeder system you have, by the way. It's great. Like on behalf of World Cricket, thank you.
It's one of our better exports.
Yeah, it's good. What's your export? Well, we've got tin, we've got palm oil, and cricketers. All right, so there you go. That's it. I guess that's business. We'll have a look at the guessing game and see what's happening with that table.
Yes,
I think that.
Big day.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm nearly on the front page.
Oh, you're on the. Oh,
Nearly.
you're not just off.
Oh, we all got a most improved today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got. But by the way, it's pretty tight up on top there, man. There's like 1.5% separating. Yeah, 4 of us. Wow. But I just want to tell you guys that Murali Karthik got a bullseye today, and I don't think we're going to hear the end of it till at least IPL 2029.
Well, the thing is, he
hear
got
about
2 points, didn't he? He got the bullseye and then he got the power play.
Yeah.
So he was
He
on
was a
fire.
big mover.
Yeah,
Moving day
big
for
mover
Murali.
today.
Karthik.
Yeah.
And
wow.
we're just moving on.
Well, moving on to one thing before we move out of here, because it is the happy birthday of somebody very special to all 3 of us. It's a boy, Ro, whose birthday it is on the 30th. I've just been told it's past 12 o'clock, just past 12 o'clock.
Right.
So it's happy birthday, Rohit Sharma, to a top guy, super fun, legend of the game for sure, and somebody who's connected to both of you pretty closely.
Yes.
Was your vice captain when you were the Deccan Chargers.
He was indeed. Yep. Yep. A very fine man.
Didn't you inspire him to get a hat trick?
So that again.
Didn't you inspire him to get a hat trick?
In the IPL?
He did get a hat
He
trick.
got a hat trick bowling his off spin.
Yep.
Yes?
In
Yeah.
South Africa. I think it was in Pretoria.
At Pretoria.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It could have been against us.
Against you guys. It was too.
It could have been against Mumba.
Yeah.
Well, there's a birthday present.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy birthday, Ro.
Yeah,
Sure
Ro.
you're watching. Sure have a great celebration.
All the best, bud. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And looking forward to seeing you on the field and off the field as well. It's always a good time. So happy birthday to Rohit Sharma. I'm going to be making sure that nobody's taking walks in the garden today, all right? I promise you. All right, a big thank you to Adam Gilchrist and Shaun Pollock. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Big thank you to all of you for staying tuned with us today. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You were watching Voltas Presents Cricbuzz Live. Thank you. Good night. See you tomorrow 7 p.m. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
Lucknow Junction,
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad Voltas Express Railway Station, Netaji Bhavan.